Welcome. We're still thinking about what the new normal might be for church when lockdown begins to be lifted.
Over the last few weeks, we've talked about people being more important than buildings, about switching from judging others to affirming them, and about being church every day, not just Sunday.
This week, we want to think about the us and them of church and how church could and should be for everyone.
Let's have a think about the them and the us in today's story. There's a man at the side of the road. Now we might be tempted to judge him. Has he been drinking? Maybe he's just made bad life choices. Or is he one of them? But we know it was a bad road. There's one in most cities and towns, isn't there, that you wouldn't walk down, or if you do, there's more of a chance of getting mugged. The ones where you hold your purse a bit tighter and walk a little bit quicker. This was one of those roads. It had a seriously bad reputation. So we won't judge him just now for getting mugged, because it could have been us. Now the priest and the Levite that walked by, that's a bit simpler. It's just like them not to stop. They wouldn't stop. But the thing is, they had a really good excuse not to. I don't know what those excuses were, but I'm pretty certain that they had excuses. Because we all do, don't we, to be honest? People, even us, have excuses not to help other people. It happens. We don't want to do something. And on a dangerous road, well, we don't want to get mugged too, do we? There might be another them waiting to mug us. So we won't judge the people that crossed the road, because that could have been us too. Then we have our Samaritan man. There's no need to judge him, is there? He's the hero of the story. And we can just classify him as being an us, really. That's quite quick and simple. The traditional way we read this story is about how a Samaritan helped a Jew, when Samaritans don't even like Jews. But the thing is that the passage doesn't actually tell us the injured person was a Jew. We just read it that way. So maybe we could just hear it today as a we're all in this together story, not an us and them story. Let's just call them Frida and Bert. Bert looks after Frida, and Bert gives us a great model for helping those who are struggling to cope with isolation. First, Bert came to where the person was. Okay, that's hard in these times of social distancing, but we can make the approach, the first move. We can make the phone call, the text message. You doing all right, hun? Then Bert did his best to fix the most immediate need. Bert did first aid. For those struggling with isolation, we can't physically give first aid, but we can lend an ear. We can listen. We can hear their concerns. We can pray, and we can do whatever we can to comfort them. Then Bert takes Frida to the inn. Having done his best to do a quick and dirty short-term fix, he moves Frida on to some longer-term care, looks for a longer-term solution. Taking Frida to the inn, he pays for care, and for us this is maybe signposting to another agency. Perhaps it's the local group that runs errands and drops off shopping. Perhaps it's asking someone to ring the Samaritans for a different listening ear. It could be any one of a number of agencies that can help people with their struggles at this time. And then Bert did something that Jesus did in last week's reading. In last week's story, we talked about Jesus following up with the man at the pool to see how he was getting on. Bert does the same thing. He says that next time he's coming through, he will come and check up on Frida. And he meet any more additional needs that Frida might have incurred. We need to follow up as well. It's another phone call, another text message, another first move, another, "You doing all right, hun?" The passage ends with the words, "Go and do likewise." Once we forget the them and the us language, and we see people as just everyone, as just people, then we can do that. We can go and do likewise. We need to remind ourselves that God loves everyone, that church is for everyone. Go and do likewise.
A man who thought he knew pretty much everything about how to behave once asked Jesus a question: "Who is my neighbour?" And Jesus told a story as his answer, and the story went something like this. Someone was walking from their house to Tesco at about 8 p.m. when they were mugged. They were stripped half naked and beaten and left for dead. An hour or so later, the local minister walked by and saw them lying there, bloody and bruised.
I know I should stop and help, but what if somebody sees me? I shouldn't even be out right now. And if I help them, people are going to wonder why I'm not knocking on doors and helping everybody. I better just pretend I didn't see them and keep going.
And she crossed the road and kept walking. At exactly 9:30 p.m, Doris, the self-appointed neighbourhood social distancing monitor, looked out of her window to check for people hanging around outside, just like she did every night before bed. She noticed someone lying in the road.
Are they injured? Or are they drunk? Should I go and help? But what if I get ill? What if it's a trick? They might hurt me. Oh no. I don't know what to do for best. I wish there was someone here, someone I could ring, someone else to help me.
So Doris shut her curtains tight and put the kettle on. She wasn't going to be getting any sleep tonight. Once an hour, every hour, she would just check if they were still there. If no one came to help, if they were still there, she might be brave enough to step outside. Maybe. At 11 p.m, a politician drove past, heading home from the latest urgent all-day socially distanced meeting. As their speedo crept up past 70, they thought they saw someone or something by the side of the road.
Should I stop and see who that was? No, I better not. I'm already 3 hours later than I was supposed to be, and I can't pay the carer for any more extra time. And I don't want to waste a minute away from Jenny and... oh God.
And with that last thought, they sped up just a little more, racing home to their dying wife. And they didn't even remember what they'd seen. Hours and hours passed before the party at Club Pink ended, and Jade staggered out, a little worse for wear, but feeling happier than she had in weeks. She didn't dare think what she looked like, and she hoped no one saw her. That neighbour would be on at her again for being a sinner. As if she couldn't read the Bible for herself.
I ain't not no more sinful than you are, love.
Her inner rant was suddenly interrupted as she tripped over something and looked down.
Who's that poor sod? Oh God, they're all beaten and bruised. They've been half stripped. I'd be so... Here you go, pal. Let's get this coat round you. I'll call for help. You'll be all right. Do you want me to hold your hand? I can do that. Oh, I know people are looking, but don't worry. I ain't go do one. Their judgy eyes. I've got you, and it's going to be all right. I get it. I understand. People judge me all the time. Doesn't matter though. I'm here now.
And that's why church is for all, not just for us. We want to judge all of the people in our story for different reasons, but we can't see what's going on inside their heads. We don't know their struggles. Everyone is our neighbour, but in that story only Jade acted like a neighbour. Church is for me, and it's for them, beaten and bruised in the road, even though we don't know who they are. And it's for Jade, who had a fantastic night at Club Pink, which was a great respite from the exclusion she experiences everywhere else. And it's for the minister, who is secretly anxious, never quite sure that they're doing enough. It's for Doris, who comes across as a patronising, judgy gossip, but is actually terrified and lonely. It's for the politician whose words and actions we tease apart and quite rightly critique, but whose inner life is hidden from us. Church is for you, and it's for the person you'd least like to invite in.
I won't say there are no silly questions, but asking questions is a good thing. The man asked Jesus a question, and we get in response one of those sticky quotes, those words that stay with you. Love the Lord your God, and love your neighbour as you love yourself.
We hear lots of good news stories of all of the things that people are doing during lockdown, but don't forget to look after yourself as well. For some people, looking after themselves will look really busy. It'll be about keeping productive and doing bits and pieces. And for other people, it'll be about having rest, just having time to just be. Whatever you do to look after yourself, remember that Jesus said, love your neighbour as you love yourself. It's important to love yourself first.
Thank you for all the love you've shown us over the last week, for all the debates, the conversations and the laughs we've had on the Facebook group over the whole week. Keep talking and keep being church every day.